Where's the Ghostbusters theme? Even in the channel screen, you would think there would be an easy choice for background music. However, they went with some spooky background sound effects and music. I'm sure the title screen for the game at least has it. What? How do you make a Ghostbusters game without putting the Ghostbusters theme song in the title screen? It's like a no-brainer. It's not something that you're going to have a meeting over. It's simple. When you make a Ghostbusters game, you put the song in the title screen. You know what? I'm going to fix your guys' mistake. Much better. Let me make this clear. This is going to be one of the most biased reviews ever. I am a huge fan of the Ghostbusters franchise. I loved Ghostbusters 1 and 2. That's right, you heard me right. I love the second one as well. And I think the cartoon series is just as great as the movies. I grew up with the animated series, and it's still one of my favorite cartoons to watch. I don't know why I like the concept behind the Ghostbusters so much. If you think about it, the whole idea is pretty screwed up. Think if you were a ghost, and you were just trying to enjoy your afterlife, and these 4 guys decide to trap you and stuff you into a small box, and then put you in a containment unit for the rest of eternity. How do we even consider the Ghostbusters the good guys? If anything, they're morally wrong on this issue. I wonder how they're going to feel when they die and the next generation of Ghostbusters decide to capture them. Ghostbusters the game is fantastic. Sure, it has problems, but there's nothing in it that is so egregious that you can't find enjoyment in this game. You first have to decide whether you're going to be a boy or a girl. Why is it the girl looks normal and cute when you put a cursor over her face, but when you put the cursor over the guy, he looks like a serial killer? You can trust me, I'm a Ghostbuster. God, he looks so crazy. And that's not even an isolated example. The model that they have for Peter makes him look even crazier than my character. Look at his eyes. They're just bulging out. It's ridiculous. He looks psychotic. But the rest of the character models are pretty good. It's just Peter that looks awful. The timeline of this game takes place after Ghostbusters 2. You play the role of a new recruit of the Ghostbusters. There's been an upsurge of ghost activity, and you find out that something or someone is merging the ghost world with our world, and the Ghostbusters have to stop it. The visuals look great. They have a cartoonish look, which I thought was a lot of fun. They remake a lot of the locations from both movies. The library, the hotel, and even the museum. It looks like they even faithfully recreated the firehouse to be an exact replica of the one in the movie. The levels are broken up into smaller chapters, and that was much appreciated since it uses an auto-save to save your game. And it only saves your game at the end of the level. Now, since you're the newbie of the group, Egon decides that you're going to be the guinea pig to test out his experimental ghost-catching weaponry. Those include an auto-refilling slime blower, a proton shotgun, freeze ray, and much more. All these weapons have a limited supply of ammo, and to get more, all you have to do is wait for it to recharge. However, the weapon of choice will always be the proton streams. And if you're a somewhat regular watcher of my videos, I think you'll know the very first thing that I tried to do with those streams. I tried to cross them, so my characters would implode or whatever horrible thing would happen to them. Imagine my disappointment when I kept crossing the streams and nothing happened. I guess Egon finally figured out how to null the stream's effects when they hit each other. Pity. I even tried to murder my fellow teammates by hitting them with the proton streams, but still nothing. To capture a ghost normally, all you would have to do is keep blasting at them, or fire concentrated beams at them to weaken the ghosts, to the point where they will stay in the beams. When you get to that point, the screen will show you an arrow in the direction they want you to motion your Wiimote. These movements are so you can slam the ghosts into a wall to weaken them even more so you can get them into a trap. The motion controls worked almost perfectly. Up, down, and right worked fantastic. But for some reason, whenever I had to make the motion to go to my left, it would never read it accurately. No matter how little or extreme I waggle the Wiimote, the motion controls would never reliably read it. And for some reason, it seemed like that arrow direction would come up more than the others, which was unfortunate. You can also use your proton beams as a moving device. Some objects can be moved when you fire at them with your beams. You just fire your beams at the object, and once it locks onto it, you just move it by moving your Wiimote in different directions. One of the weirdest parts of this game is how you make money. The city of New York has decided to pay for any ghost removals as part of the mayor's anti-ghost re-election campaign. Now, you would think that since you're on the city's dime, you would be penalized for any damage that you would do to the locations that you're visiting. But no. The game actually encourages you to destroy as much of the environment as possible. At the end of the level, they'll total up how much damage you've done, and that's your score. Or in other words, how much the city has to pay. The whole idea of encouraging you to do as much destruction as possible seems backwards. You would think they would give you a set amount of money that you could earn for the job, and they would deduct for the damages you would do. But they don't. They pay you your whole fee, and they pay for the damages you do as well. So the Ghostbusters have decided to make a game of it, and destroy as much as possible. What a bunch of jerks! Not only do they imprison some innocent ghosts for the crime of just existing, but they also play a game of destroying as much of the locations they are visiting as possible. The game can be played in a 2-player cooperative mode. The frame rate is a little bit jerky at times, but it was still fun to play. The advantage of playing it with a real partner is that the later puzzles and enemies in the game are a lot easier. There are collectibles and things you can scan with your PKE meter, if you enjoy finding every hidden object and item. You can also ramp up the difficulty level. But that's the only other challenge that you will find in this game to make you want to replay it, other than just the fun of just replaying the game. At the end of some levels, there's a boss battle, and those were always fun and challenging. My favorite one was when you had to fight the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. He's climbing up the building and you have to destroy him. As you're going through the boss fight, it gets a bit disturbing though. Look at him, his face is melting away. And they made this game for kids? Don't you think kids might just find that just a little bit scary? Ghostbusters the game is a lot of fun. Unfortunately, it seems to end when it's just getting good. The game lasts about 5 to 6 hours, and except for trying to rack up more money, there really isn't any extra replayability in the game. However, the levels are fun to replay for the fun factor alone of being a Ghostbuster. The game is currently retailing for $40, and even though the game really should be a rental due to its short length and limited replayability, the game is just so darn fun, I have to recommend it for a buy.